So it is February the 14th, and Brice and I, we both are hysterical, worst girlfriends, wives ever, because we both forgot it was Valentine's Day, even though it's one of my best friend's birthdays. So we thought we'd jump on and do a little impromptu, one of our coffee chats about love and what is love, because there's so much bandied about, isn't there, Brice, about getting to the love vibration and stay in love and stay in that sort of heart space, etc. But a lot of people ban these things around, and I would say it's really important that we all look at how we're embodying them.
Yeah, and I don't think we actually truly understand what love is. I know somebody said once, my mother said this once, I think she had heard somebody say that the only true Valentines you'll ever have are your children, because that's a super unconditional type of love. And I know we've been talking about that a lot in the Magdalene series that I've been doing on my channel. And I remember when I was going through my trauma therapy after coming out of an abusive relationship, something that really hit me. And I think that girls, as women, I'm not generalizing, but I kind of am generalizing, that we are all kind of guilty of having this misunderstanding of what passion is when it comes to romantic relationships. You know, a lot of times when there's a lot of drama, we think that it is passion, but it's not. It's toxicity, you know, and that's not what love is. Love is not toxic. Love, there actually is a verse in the Bible, and I'm going to read from 1 Corinthians here in a minute, but I know in the book of John, there's a verse in the Bible, and I'm paraphrasing, where he says that God, where there is fear, there is no love, and God is love. And so if you're in a situation with someone where there's a fear response, that's not love. You know, that's not love. And I guess I'll go ahead. I know most people know this Bible verse. It's one of the most commonly read at weddings. It's 1 Corinthians 13. 4 through 6, I'm going to read here, and 4 through 7. And to me, even though we know the Bible is corrupt and has been manipulated over time, this to me is one of the most powerful passages of love. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. And that to me is there's a very calm undertone to that, you know, and I think that that's the essence of love, whether it's a romantic relationship or a parent-child relationship or a relationship with your animals. You know, there's a calmness, even though emotions might roll up from time to time, there's always this sense of calmness. It does not delight in evil. It does not, you know, true love does not want to see, if someone truly loves you, they don't want to see you suffer. They don't want to see you fail. They want what's best for you without being self-seeking. And I think that that's true across the board for friendships, family members, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. It's that true essence of really, really caring about that person's well-being.
That's so important. And I love that. I mean, I think that, and there's so many points there I want to sort of come back to, because, you know, we talk about how you can't truly be feeling love or demonstrating love or be in the love vibration if you're in the fear. The two, you can't be in both at the same time. And look at what's happened over not just the last 2 years. I think the last 2 years have brought it to light, but so many relationships, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's work, whether it's romantic, they use fear as a form of manipulation. And we've even seen it a lot in a lot of, you know, people that genuinely are coming from the right place. But look how much in so much of the videos that we watch on both sides, whether it's on the truther or the mainstream, so much is driven by fear. And that is not in the love vibration. And one of the things I see happen an awful lot is you can see a lot of people who think that they're spiritually awakened, and they can say the words but not demonstrate it from the actions. And I'm a really, really strong believer in you walk the talk. You know, you can't, it's no good just saying. It's like when someone says with respect, and then you know they're going to say something rude to you that's not remotely respectful or not coming from a place of love.
Yeah. Well, and that comes from also the biggest thing I think to be in that heart vibration is understanding self-love. And I'm not talking about narcissism. I'm not talking about the ego. I'm talking about valuing yourself, being your own best friend. Because I think when we learn to do that as a human species, then we'll be able to put up boundaries and only allow people in our lives that carry that same essence of the true love too, if that makes sense. Like, they say that for people that have repeated problems in their lives, it's because there's something in them that they haven't healed. And so they're seeking out another opportunity to heal that. So once we learn how to heal the part of us that's not loving ourselves, I think we will be able to walk into, and fear comes from, I see this a lot in my breakdown of religious cults and all that kind of stuff. It's like, you look at here in the United States, we have the Westboro Baptist Church, which I can't say too much about them, guys, but you can Google them if you don't know who they are. And they're constantly parading around propaganda, trying to scare people into coming into their church. And that's just not God. But my thing is, like, are they doing that because they're afraid that they're not right? And so they're going to project that onto other people, which again is not coming from a place of trust and a place of love. I was speaking with our friend Shanti this morning, and one of my favorite Bible verses, she was saying this is one of hers, is a verse that says, "Be still and know that I am God." And being able to surrender. And I think that's a part of love too. Just being able, how many people do we know in the spiritual world that are always talking about trust the universe, trust the universe, trust the universe, but then they act in a behavior that's not trusting of the universe?
Absolutely. And I think this is really, I mean, I know because I was speaking to Brice about it. On Friday, I went to a remembrance service for one of my friends that died very suddenly. And it was the most beautiful, beautiful service on every level. The vicar was absolutely amazing. His widow was absolutely amazing, his family. And it just really, times like that really hit home in terms of what's important, what relationship. And I could look around that room and there are people that I hadn't seen for quite a long while. And it was really clear to me which ones we interacted with each other from a place of pure, genuine love. And it really made me think about the community that we've been interacting and building on the online community. And yes, there's so much that's said that isn't necessarily followed through with actions. And this, I'm not saying this from a blame or who's she talking about sort of things. I was thinking, sometimes you've just got to be really honest with yourself and sort of saying, what am I putting out there as well? Why am I attracting certain people into my lives that aren't necessarily reciprocating with the love vibration? Because if I was really approaching them with a love vibration, they'd have no choice but to come back with that. Right. So when I'm saying this, I'm saying it from a self-reflection point of view. And what you just said then, that Bible verse, and what we were talking about how love is calm and it doesn't hold grudges. And for me, what I found is my most lasting friendships and the ones that I really value from a place of love are also the ones where you can have those difficult discussions with people, because whatever the message, if it's coming from the right place, then it's received in the right way, is my experience.
Well, it kind of goes back to things that we were talking about with Lucy last week about being able, if you really love somebody, when they come to you with a grievance or something's wrong, it could have just been a miscommunication. You have the ears to listen, to understand what they're saying. And therefore there's that patience, that kindness that is coming through. And it's interesting, we talk about people in like the spiritual community, especially talking about, the love vibration, but they're not acting on it. Everybody knows that my day job is teaching a traditional yoga, but I don't teach daily anymore. Basically, all I do is teach courses now. And part of the courses are a huge deep dive into the philosophy. And philosophy is something that I guess everyone knows that's what I love the most. But we have this kind of saying that the teacher always teaches what the teacher needs to learn.
Yes.
And I don't think a lot of people in the spiritual community that are, saying words but not acting the actions have comprehended that what they're saying is what they actually need to learn. And if we all had that self-love which part of that self-love is self-reflection, is being able to look at yourself and course correct because you love yourself and you want to be the best you that you can be, not just for the world, but for yourself and your own purpose. So if we start really looking at practicing that self-love, then we'll pick up, I think, on those cues of, oh, I'm talking about this a lot because I need to look at this. I need
Absolutely.
to understand this, and that accountability, it all starts with that personal accountability.
Oh, just so important. And it is always, and it's one of the reasons why I love my job so much. And I've got various different strings to my bow like you, is because I'm not going to be working with clients if I'm not doing it myself. So the best way to hold myself accountable is to be talking about this stuff, because it's a constant reminder in a busy world about the importance. Basic. So I have just got off a call with the most amazing lady. I'm not going to give away any confidentiality. I'm just going to say hi, Jodie. We're all sending you so much love. And this lady is absolutely amazing what she's doing for herself and her animals. And it's just beautiful to see these people that really are sort of walking the talk. And one of the things that I posted on my community page on YouTube today was one of the Joe Dispenza recent interviews. And it's not that I'm always going on about Joe Dispenza, it's just well, I am, but it's just, he's a really good example. I think he explains things so eloquently. And we've all been talking about, myself included, so this is always me talking, holding myself accountable, about creating the world we want to move forward. We talk about the age of Aquarius, we talk about moving into 5D, but equally we've talked a lot, you and I, and with other guests that we've had, about how we get that balance of knowledge and understanding our past and what perhaps has been hidden from the past, and how we balance that with creating. And one of the things he said that just hit me so hard this morning was that, this science, the quantum science that people like Joe Dispenza are doing, have actually proven that the collective networks of observers determine reality. And oh my God, it's so potent, because I've been trying to sort of articulate where I wanted to go with the talks and the guests that I've had on my channel. And that sums it up, because I want to be mainly focusing, if I'm looking back, I want it to be in a way that's constructive for helping shape how I move forward, because I am 100% convinced from the work that I've done over the last 15, 20 years, that our observation, our thoughts and our actions absolutely shape our reality.
Oh, for sure they do. For sure they do. That's the whole magic of how we are as human beings. As I've said, like we've said, I want to look to the future, because when you go through all the stuff in the past and you start asking why did they do that, you're like, oh, because there's something special about us. There's something special. And so I think we do have that power of a collective. It's almost like a collective group meditation, but not in an active state, where if we all start to focus on really that, into that heart vibration, what that really means, then it's destined to change the template in which we live our lives all over the world, for sure. And it's funny, as you're talking too, when you're talking about your friend that passed away, I keep thinking about, like, when we are on our deathbeds, like when people ask you, when you're on your deathbed, like, what's going to be important to you? And my aunt, my mom's sister, passed away. I think she was 42 when she passed away. This was over, like, or maybe actually 20 years ago. And she passed away of cancer. And at that time, she had 2 children. My cousin, I believe my male cousin was 13 and my female cousin was 8, so very young. And when she was on her deathbed, like right before she passed away, my mom and her sisters were in there, and they kept asking her, like, Mary Jo, what can we do? What can we do? And all she kept saying was, make sure you help Bill with the kids. Make sure, her husband, make sure you help Bill with the kids. And that sense of selfless love in this moment of her being in that much pain, but wanting to make sure everything was going to be okay. And I think to start off, if we think about that, like, we don't know when our last day is going to be on this earth. None of us know. And so living each day in that place of, like, if I were to go away, if I were to exit the world today, like, who do I want around me?
Exactly.
Who do I want people to be mad at me, or do I want to hold a grudge against somebody else that I actually care about? Why not, contact? I've been watching a lot of other people talk about this, like, when miscommunication happens, like, why not just make that contact with that person? If you keep thinking about it, contact them, figure it out, because we don't know when our last day is. We don't know when we're going to get a second chance to correct something and to go back to that vibration of love.
And it's so important. A couple of things that you said there, that one, make that contact, be the bigger person, make the contact, because the thing is, however it goes, that contact is meant to be, and it will give you a very good reflection of where that person is at, and therefore whether they're right to be in your life or not. But when you take that first step and lead and initiate that, you're truly opening up your doors, your heart, etc., for, like you said, to really listen. And what we're not responsible for is how that's received, which is, you know, I think really, really important. And not to beat yourself up, you know, hopefully it would be received well, but if it's not going to be received well, then that's obviously meant to be. And it's much better knowing than second guessing everything in your head. Yeah. And the other thing that you were saying there is about the meditation. Now, I've been meditating for a long while, but like everything, I do have good periods and bad periods where sometimes I'm far more dedicated in my practice of meditation than others. And what is blatantly apparent is when I'm really dedicated to it, everything in my life shifts. So one of the things I wanted to put out there to our listeners today, completely voluntary, I'm not going to be leading any guided meditations, because for me, everyone has their own personal style about what resonates with them right here, right now. So sometimes I might like to do silent meditation. Sometimes I like to do walking. Sometimes I like listening to a certain person and style of guided meditations. And that's very unique to individuals. And that will change over time, depending on what you resonate with then. But I am publicly committing to doing sort of at least an hour of meditation a day. Sometimes it will be a block of an hour. Sometimes it will be 2 half hours. And I'm going to be telling you in our coffee chats how that's changing things for me. And I would really like to encourage anyone who's listened to that, if there's even a little bit of you that thinks, yes, I'm going to give it a go, give it a go. I'm happy for you to contact me. And if you want us to talk more about that and some tips and things, we can. Yeah. But I just think if we all step into this consistency, why don't we see what we can all create together over the next moving forward?
I love that. And I want to say too, like with meditation, because I think that's fantastic, because it is, and I agree with you, like when I am, and I have to be consistent for the most part in order for me to keep my authorization to keep teaching. But the form of meditation that I practice is called the Tristana method, and it comes through active meditation, which I won't get too much into that here, but there's so many different forms of meditation, guys. So I know a lot of people are very like, sometimes get like put off by just sitting in silence. No, there's so many different, like you talked about the walking meditation there. The Tristana method that I do is active meditation. Yeah. So that breath, gaze point, and posture. So my eyes aren't closed, they're focused on a gaze point, and that comes through my practice. And that is the active meditation. And it's so funny because I was telling our friend Shanti this morning a little while back, while I was practicing. And when I practice, I don't listen to anything. And I'm a huge music lover, but I don't put anything on that can potentially distract me from what I'm really feeling. But I was practicing, and I got this voice that talks to me from time to time, said, "This is your magic weapon. This is what's going to liberate you. Keep doing this. This is why I sent you to India. This is your saving grace." And that liberation is also that heart vibration, where we're not, we talk a lot about the ego and pride, and there's a cheesy quote, ego is edging God out. Well, the ego is the false illusion of the self. So when the ego is too big, then you're not even in touch with who you really are. And sometimes living in that love, you do have to swallow that pride and humble yourself and be vulnerable. And meditation can show you that, can show you where there's vulnerabilities. And once you can fall into that, lean into that vulnerability, you become more human. You become more in that vibration of love, of kind love, of being patient, of being kind, of persevering. And so I think that's fantastic, Catherine, that we could start I wonder if we could actually, some yoga shalas and other will do like challenge boards.
Yeah, I think you and I, let's have a chat about this and see, and people can let us know what resonates with them. Because for me, I find it really helpful to, like, my husband and I will sort of say, right, we're going to do this together, because for me, I like being accountable to someone. And once I've verbalized it, then I'm the top person. If I say I'm going to do it, I'll do it. But everyone's different. But it's just something I've been thinking about so much over the last couple of months, really. is like when we start putting our energy, our focus, attention on what we do want. And I'm absolutely not saying do your research. I'm not saying have fun conversations exploring in the past. I'm not saying that at all. It's not a one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that when we so talk about we want certain things to happen, well, there's so much science behind it. For those of you that like to know how it works on a quantum physics level, there's so much stuff that you can look at. But I know from personal experience, it literally is transformable, and it's something everyone can do. It costs you nothing. It can fit in with any other lifestyle, and you can literally explore different techniques and see what works for you. As I said, I mix it up a lot depending on what resonates with me in that at that time. And sometimes I like to listen to guided meditation. Sometimes I like complete silence. I do love the breathing ones as well. I love doing it with my horses and my dogs and my cats. There's so many different times, but I would just, wouldn't it be special if as many people who watch this could comment whether they're up for it and joining in with us. And then when we do our coffee chats each week, or if we do extra spontaneous ones like this, we can follow up and see how people are finding it and what changes they're noticing in their lives, because I guarantee you will do.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You will absolutely. The first time I ever started doing meditation, I remember all of a sudden I had never felt a pause before. There, you can take a pause. That's allowed. You know, in the busy Western world that a lot of us live in, where it's go, 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 work, 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 you can take a pause, and that pause will show you a lot. And so I think that's fantastic, Catherine. I think we should, I hope everybody listening wants to do that, because I think that could really shift things.
Yeah, let us know. And if you'd like some sort of help at all, let us know, because I think we're both very open to, and we've also between us got an amazing network of friends, a lot of people that you've already spoken to, that we can get in on this challenge as well. But initially I'm saying that, you know, as of, depending what time zone you're in, today or tomorrow, and when I say now, that's an indication to me. I don't sit there and set my watch sort of thing. It's just like, what I'm saying is I'm going to dedicate a certain amount of time to it, and I'm not going to skimp on it, and that is a non-negotiable in my diary. And the thing is, I mean, Joe Dispenza's got a new Love one out that I just really love, and the effect, Brice, that it had on my dogs and cats when we played it with them was absolutely profound. What it brought up to them emotionally. And that one, and there's a really beautiful one by Wayne Dyer that you can get free, different versions all over YouTube, called I Am That I Am. And I think I've mentioned this before, but when I play that, my dogs howl like wolves, but not howling like wolves. I must get it on video sometime, but obviously I'm concentrated to relax into it. Not howling in a distress way at all, howling in a pure vibration connection way. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I think that's such a great idea, Catherine. And I think what a great day to kick it off with on Valentine's Day too. You know, this was actually my due date today, guys. I was actually due on Valentine's Day.
Oh, were you? Oh,
10 days early. I was like, no, I'm not sharing my birthday with a holiday. So,
my best friend Jane, happy birthday, Jane. My best friend Jane from university. We were always so jealous because her birthday is on Valentine's Day. And so when you're at university, like, you used to get your post delivered to little pigeonholes in the main reception area. And so, of course, on Valentine's Day, her cubbyhole was full. And so it looked like she had most admirers. And she didn't, you know, of course, no one knew it was her birthday. She was like, my Valentine's cards. It was really,
girl.
It's been a standing joke ever since about what a cool time to have birthdays. So, yeah. But no, it's just lovely to take this time to reflect, isn't it? And take this time to reflect for ourselves and for others, and about sort of, okay, where now, what next? And we'd love to hear everyone's comments about what they think and where they're at, and what love means to you.
Yeah. And there's also, guys, it just popped into my head, and I'm not trained in this, I've just seen it on YouTube. There's a laughing meditation too. You can Google it, where you make yourself laugh and you keep yourself laughing for a good it's a short meditation, 5-10 minutes. And what it does to change people's day, just to take that time just to laugh. So that's another
beautiful meditation. I've not seen that. And that is one I haven't tried. So I will definitely be trying that. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. So rest of the day, have you got anything else planned for Valentine's?
No, I totally forgot. It was,
Me too.
I've never, I mean, I think the last time I exchanged a Valentine's Day gift was with my best friend who's gay, and I got him a chocolate man boyfriend. And then he gave me something too, but that was like the last time I actually did anything for Valentine's Day. So, but I know some people really, really love it. So I hope for those that really love this holiday, I think it does my heart. It makes my heart happy when I see people who really love it, because it means they really love love.
Exactly.
And they love showing love. And that's a really, that's a really great quality to have if you're a person that really loves love and wants to be in that state of loving someone and being loved by. And that's a hard thing too, is to love someone but also allow yourself to be loved by another person. That's something a lot of people struggle with, but again, it goes back to that self-love as well. So
it really does. And I would just say, big message to all of us, we don't need to wait. Everyone knows this. So, and Valentine's Day is a bit of fun for a lot of people, but also is sometimes these are sort of good reminders for us to sort of say, right, we don't need anyone to tell us that this is the day you show your love. I think if everyone started showing their love and really working out for themselves how they know when they're really communicating from a heart space with themselves and everything else around them, then I think we'd see shifts happening really, really quickly all around us.
Yeah, me too. And I just had thought too, like, what would happen if every time you thought about someone, a friend or whatever, you just shot them a text and said, hey, thinking about you, hope you're well. How would that change our world if every time every single one of us thought about someone and just said, hey, just a quick text, thinking about you, hope all is well. If that happened repeatedly throughout the day all over the world, how would that change our vibration? How would that change that giving and receiving of love? And again, we're not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm mainly talking about friendships when it comes to that. So yeah, it's the power is ours. It's always it's like that Wizard of Oz. You had the power all along. You have the power. You've had it all along.
Yeah. And I think, there's so many scary things out there. I think, we've already talked about, we can't be in a fear vibration, a love vibration, but the beauty is noticing when you're slipping from one to another and then making a conscious effort to do something about it. So it's fine. We don't want to suppress our emotions, but we can consciously choose where we spend most of our time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%. Oh, well, I love you lots, Brice.
I love you too.
I love all the listeners, and we are sending you all a lot of love. We really, really appreciate you. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you're going to join in our meditation in whatever form that looks like for you, sort of next month challenge. And if you do, let's keep in contact with each other and see how you're finding it and what's shifting, and see how it shifts things globally as well.
Amazing. Bravo to you, Catherine, for coming up with this. So amazing.
My halo's gone wonky. Hang on. And we will be back. You and I will be back tomorrow evening tomorrow at various different time zones with lovely Brice, with David Cohen and lovely Medina. So I'm sure we'll be carrying on the conversation then. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Brice. Bye.